And that's how you make basilisk pie. Oh, hello. Welcome to the Liching Hour. I'm your host, the Lich. Tonight we are playing session 2 of Intrigue at the Court of Chaos. But before we do that, in dungeon news. It's been 23 days since our last hero infestation. I'd like to give a shout out to good old Bizzlebits, our resident illusionist, who's made the entrance to our dungeon look like a strip mall. Adventurers hate strip malls. I hate strip malls. We've got a birthday. Auntie, the oldest vampire in HR, is turning 238 tomorrow. She refuses to listen to my newscasts, so I'm pretty sure I'm not worried about her finding out about the surprise party we're going to throw for her tomorrow night. It's going to be magical. No, seriously, I'm going to throw some hardcore spells tomorrow night. What? One of them is going to be a cake of holding. That's right, you heard me. It's going to be blood velvet. Everyone needs to be inside the cake by 12 a.m. sharp tomorrow night. There's enough room, even for you, Gormoth. Viva la dungeon! Okay, welcome back. If you tuned in last week in our first episode, our first session of Intrigue at the Court of Chaos, you would have found our intrepid party had somehow drawn the attention, not somehow, we know exactly how they did it. By defeating a Chaos Lord in their very first adventure, our party drew the attention of the Court of Chaos, great beings of gods of chaos, that transported the whole party to their court and demanded they fulfill a task for them. They want them to travel to the plane of law and steal an ancient chaotic artifact called the Yolkless Egg, and then bring it back to them. The beings of law had stolen this egg, stolen it, taken it, defeated the chaos, had taken this egg and hid it away, and millennium ago, and they want the party to go get it for them. They gave the party, it was an ultimatum. They were either going to die or do it for them. They gave them a night to decide. During that night, of course, we have Snope, Meggle, and Gunther, the representing law in our party. We have Barrow, Talia, and Cassius representing chaos in our party. So you can imagine there was some argument and debate back and forth about what to do with this. And then to make matters even more complicated, throughout the night, each one was visited by a member of the court and offered some kind of something in order to have them bring the yolkless egg to them instead of the court. 4 of our party members took the deal. Barrow and Talia, the husband and wife of the 2 elves. Talia has kind of rose to her own and is hungry for power. She's discovered magic. Magic is something she likes. Barrow is not as good as Talia and is envious of that and is wanting to prove himself to her and to himself. Both of them strike a deal with Dizali, the strangled bride, who offers them both something, one more power and the other, more power, but power in a way to prove him that he's as good as or equal or better than Talia, his wife. Then Pix, our little beggar thief, she's visited by Clarv Gorak, the merciless gaze. He's a big eye that's sitting on these bird-like legs. And he visits Pix in her dreams, and he offers her, this little beggar thief, powers that would make her one of the best thieves in the world. Who ever lived. Legendary. She said yes. She had spent her whole life taking whatever she could from anybody who would give it to her. She wasn't going to say no to this. And then finally, Cassius, poor Cassius, our weak woodcutter turned warrior bandit, who has strapped to his back the fiend blade, a sword imbued with the spirit of a demon that's constantly bugging him to weld it and to cause chaos, and would be his downfall, and most surely will be his downfall. He was visited by Newell, the Prince of Ruins, big three-armed, mega-helmed gentleman with a cape made out of human faces, which is just as gross as it sounds. He offers him, to be a gen. He offers him the opportunity to be a general in his chaotic army, and that's more than Cassius the Woodcutter ever dreamed of ever achieving. So he was like, yes. And then the other three, Snope, Megal, and Gunther, as expected, probably, but it did make sense with their characters. They decided they turned the people who came to them down, but they were met by a strange, unexpected, who they're not told that Gunther completely believes her, but Snope and Megal are kind of on the fence, but they were visited by a being who presents itself as having infiltrated the Court of Chaos and is an agent of law, who says that it'd actually be good for them to go steal the egg, but to bring it to her instead. But if they steal the egg, that'll wake up Law. The Law has gotten too complacent and is not paying attention, and they need to pay more attention. So she thinks that if the egg gets stolen, but as long as it comes back to her and she delivers it back to her side, that everything will be okay, but everybody will realize that Chaos is starting to make moves. So that's where they stand. They were summoned before the court. They all agreed that they would do it now that they all had reasons, every single one of them. And, of course, they didn't want to die. It was explained to them that they were going to go to law, the plane of law. They'd probably have to fulfill some kind of tests there. And they were also told that there would be, the moment they got there, they would find a flower awaiting them at the point of their arrival, and that'd be their way to get back to the Court of Chaos. And then a final note, they were all given weapons like their own, made out of ebony. They're chaotic weapons. They are told that these weapons were the only things that would work on anything that they meet in the plane of law. So, with a big thunderclap, boom, our party was transported to the plane of law. And that's where we pick up tonight. Hold on to your butts. There's some reading going to happen. I love Dungeon Crawl Classics written stuff, so I am going to read it with as much relish as I can. The maddening vista of the Court of Chaos vanishes in a cloud of ebon smoke, reeking of the pungent odor of decay. The vapor clears just as abruptly, leaving you standing on a hill of emerald grass beneath a shining sun. Each blade of green is exquisitely manicured, more fitting for a lord's garden than a wild meadow. Around you, the grass stretches as far as the horizon, which bisects the earth and sky with a razor-straight precision. Only a few distant copses of idyllic trees, growing in perfect harmony with the landscape, break the carpet of pristine green. A pure golden sun rides high in a perfect azure sky untouched by clouds. With your unobstructed view of the land around you, you swiftly notice the perfection of nearly everything your eyes light upon. Each tree grows straight and tall, its branches and leaves all paragons of order and correctness. No blade of grass bears the slightest tint of yellow. No small stone is jagged and chipped. A single blemish is present in the flawlessness around you. At your foot grows a solitary rose, its 8 crooked petals discolored by rot. Its vibrant red faded to a smoky pink. A squirming worm gnaws at the heart of the rose's blossom. This can only be the flower that will ensure your return to the Court of Chaos. Below your hilltop vista, high above a perfectly circled bowl surrounded by faultless knolls, is the tremendous form of a gleaming, flawless diamond. The mountainous lozenge hangs in the air like a raindrop halted in mid-fall. The bottommost tip suspended a short distance above the immaculate grass. This can only be the cataphract you seek. The large recumbent form of some great beast rests directly beneath it. So you're standing in Ireland, basically, with this huge diamond just hanging in the sky, 100 feet above some kind of resting beast below. So the party looks around. It's ready. Everyone's ready to get going. They're in those who are lawful are in awe. Everyone's in awe in one shape or form. Some are, the chaotic ones are a little more jealous that they'll never be able to have anything like that. Where Snow, Megal, and Gunther are more, they feel more alive being here. So they continue. Everyone starts heading down towards the. I mean, where's it going? So they heading down towards this great beast, slowly, carefully. Careful not to get too close to pulling out their weapons because they don't know what's going to happen next. But as they get closer, the beast, as if sensing them, gets up. And what they're seeing now is it's got to be 10-foot tall oxen, huge horns, maybe 30 feet long. And as they get a little closer, they see that its big old eyes are clouded over, milky. And its pelt is mangy and dull, which doesn't necessarily fit the environment they're in. Not sure what to do. Suddenly, it speaks.
Seldom do I see wayfarers abroad in this place. Have you come, my lords, bearing the words of my masters? Or is it the cataphract and that which lies within that brings you to my watch place? Be warned that if your hearts harbor malice and larcenous deeds are your aims, you'll find me unshrinking in my duty to oppose you. Speak, my lords, and may your words be favorable to my ears.
Draw me and destroy this beast. Draw me and destroy this beast. The Fiend Blade, ever since getting to the plane of law, is going ape shit in Cassius's mind. It needs to cause problem. And Cassius, he doesn't have the strongest personality. He's holding on. His intelligence is the only thing holding him on. His intelligence tells him that if he draws the blade and pays the cost, that there's a good chance that he's going to be taken over by the blade. But the blade's going apeshit, screaming in his head. I'm going to roll to see if the ox they've just met notices. And a side note, I'm pretty excited about this. I got me some official Dungeon Crawl Classic crazy dice. I'll put it back in there. I got me a 1d30, or should I say I got us, right? A 1d30, a 1d24. This is just this is a 1d3. It's just a 1d6 with split in half. This is, I think, is a 1d7. This is a 1d14, and this is a 1d4. So now I don't have to be doing those calculations and figuring out how to do the rolls. I can just roll these dice. I'm geeked. Right now I just need a good old 1d20. Tarziel is the name of our oxen here. Okay, we rolled a 3. Gunther, no. Who steps up? Yes. Gunther, our cleric. He steps up immediately. Obviously, this beast is waiting for an answer, and he's sensing that half the party is just going to kill this thing, and he doesn't want to necessarily see that. So he chooses the smaller of the evils in his mind and steps up, and he goes, old friend, you look well. You look well. The masters say you have done well here. You have done well. And Tarzale um, just huffs. And I'm going to do a little roll here really quick. Yeah, I get to roll 1d3. Oh, let's do 1d5. Oh, wait, this is a 1d5. Okay. 1d5, 4. Okay. You have done well. We have come to visit the cataphract today. The ox's eyes narrow. Cassius, seeking to get the sword out of his mind, moves around, is studying the ox. He's studying the ox, and it turns its head to look at him, and then turns back away. And he notices something. Well, actually, let's roll. He's got a. And he rolls a 9. His intelligence is. Oh, but he gets a +1 on his intelligence. So, or I think he gets +2, but it doesn't matter. That gets him. He notices some runes on the, but he doesn't know what they say. Let's see what he speaks. Where are you, boy? Friend Cassius. He's intelligence 15. Okay. He does not speak lawful. Oh, how odd. Okay. Back to Gunther. We have come to look upon the majesty of the cataphract. The masters, it's been a long time since the masters come, and I'm to report back on the condition of the cataphract. Inside, outside, and inside. The ox turns its head. The cataphract is perfect and in order, just as everything else here. Ah, friend. But as you can see, you are not. You are an exception. The ox, you can see that it's taken back a little bit, but then kind of huffs in agreement. I rolled a 4, right? So that's 2 rounds. We're 2 rounds in. Cassius nudges Snope and points at the. No, who speaks lawful? Nudges Meggle and then says, "Look at the horns." And let's see, she's got a. Meggle speaks up. Friend, Gunther, surely you do not mean to insult this great, majestic beast. Our friend, look, he is beautiful. She steps up. Round 3. She steps up and closer to him and goes, look at him. Maybe age is set in. No. She's going to say something. She's going to make it feel like she's gonna feed into he's glorious regardless of how they say. You could see the shining example of the creation's work here with him. And as she's saying this, she's looking at his horn, and she reads lawful, so she reads the ruins pretty easily, and she reads that it says Tarzale, firstborn of oxen, guardian of the cataphract by the writ of law, oath-bound, charged not to tarry nor depart, until the final concordance or granted manumission. Orothbarn, thrice spoken. This takes her a minute to read. In Gunther, she says this, and then Gunther speaks up, and she's reading it, and Gunther says, please, Tarazal, I mean no disrespect. let us pass by permission of our masters to enter the cataphract and inspect it. Just then, the oxen, Tarzale, sniffs like, and he turns and he looks at Cassius. And at that particular moment, it's almost as if Cassius's eyes are beating because the fiend blade is screaming so hard in his head for blood and destruction that he can almost not stand it anymore, and he's almost reaching for it, his hands shaking. And that's when Tarzale notices the stink of the chaos weapons. Finally smells the air, smells the fiend blade, but then picks up the scent and smells across all of them. Even the girl standing next to the elfin woman standing next to, who's lawful, he can tell for sure it stinks of these weapons.
Deceivers! Stinkers of chaos! Oh, my heart is torn by lies and false hopes. Now you pay the price for dashing my dreams.
He screams, and it's time to roll for initiative. All right. Because it is party time. Party time. I'm getting a bunch of D20s. Perfect. All right, we're going to roll for... Tarzarel first. He gets a +2. He is rocking a 17. Because he got +2. Okay. Now, let's go Snope. Snope gets a 12. Yes. He's a 12. I'll put this back. Alright, and then Megal. Megal is rolling a... Oh, she rolls a 1d16. Oh, do I have a 1d16? I gotta have a 1d16 in my little cool dice thingamabobs. Maybe that was a 1d16. Oh, it is. Okay, cool. She has a 1d16. Oops. Let me roll this weird. Oh, she rolls a 16. Plus 2 is 18. She's got 18. 12. All right. Gunther. The reason why, if anybody's asking, the reason why Megal is rolling a 1d16 is because she has a longbow. But then again, yeah, because she's a longbow, but that's assuming that that's what she's going to use, because it's a two-handed weapon, so you get a little bit less on your initiative roll. That's assuming she's going to use it. She might cast a spell. But anyway, we'll just roll with 18. So Gunther rolls a 16, looks like. Yeah, 16. Barrow rolls a 2. Big, strong 2. He wasn't really paying attention. Barrow is too busy staring off into the land, looking at the trees and stuff. He's an artisan. So, he is going to be taken in a bit by the landscape and the cataphract itself. Talia rolled a 10. 10. Yeah, she rolled a 10. And then Cassius rolls a straight up natural 20. Picks are beggar thief. She rolls an 8 plus 1 is 9. All right. So that puts Cassius first. Cassius first. Megal next. Tazrael. Snope. Snope, 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 Snope. Gunther. Wait, Gunther's, yeah. Wait, hold on. I think Gunther's before. Yeah. Gunther's before Snope. And then Talia picks Embaro. Yes. Alright. Initiative is set. Cassius is up. So, does Cassius give in to the Fiendblade? Chat, I'm putting this out to you. Do we see what happens right now, or we save it a little bit? What do you think? Anyone watching, let me know if you think Cassius should draw the cursed magic blade and see what happens. All right. We okay. He is going to withhold himself from just right. Yes, Narf. Yes, just barely. Like, I like where your head's at, because that's kind of where I was thinking too. Because I think he's gonna welcome the fact that he's glad that the ox started something, so it gives him a chance. He reaches, but he grabs, and the Fiendblade's pissed. He's like, no, no, and he's sending out. The Fiendblade's telepathic and can talk to other people, and other people are hearing it. But the rest of the party kind of moves away from him a little bit. They've been touched by this Fiendblade and its head since the beginning, and nobody's really taken to it. Cassius reaches for his the ebony, or are they ebony? They're ebony longsword, and he brings that out with the idea that he's going to slit this ox's throat, and the Fiendblade's just going to have to enjoy it. That. All right, so we have a Tazrael has an AC of 13. Cassius is going to roll. Cassius rolls a big O 3. Cassius draws his longsword, and but so shaky from the screaming in his head from the Fiendblade, he swings, and and Tazrael rears up a bit, and he completely misses. Next up is Megal. Megal screams. She screams, Orthbarn, Orthbarn, Orthbarn. And now that she's done that, she needs to make a spell check. But she's got, where are you at, babe? So she gets +2 on spell checks. Oh, geez. So she rolls a 3, 5. He swings his head to look at her, but nothing happens. Yeah, nothing happens. She even gets a +2 bonus because she's lawful, and that only put her at 7. Nothing happens, Megal. Good shot. He looks at her and strikes. Dirty elf. So Megal AC is, he's gonna gore her with his big old horns. Her AC is not 11. He rolls an 11, so he hits for 1d6. doing 4 points of damage to Megal. He knocks her. He swipes and tears her across her chest, and she falls. She gets knocked over. She falls down. She's not out though, but she's hurt. This gets Snope all worked up. She's his friend. And he didn't like that. He doesn't care if this ox is lawful or not. But Gunther, having heard what Megala tried, he's the good Boy Scout. He's gonna try again. He screams out the Orotherborn, Orotherborn, Orotherborn 3 times, and he rolls a spell check. Okay, he rolls a 17. Suddenly, the ox goes back down because he'd reared up. He hit her, and it stops, and these lights shoot out from above, and bathe him in him, and then all of a sudden he gets this look of peace on him, and he starts floating up into he's being like drawn up into the heavens, and then he looks around. He goes, thank you for ending my servitude. Although you might be servants of chaos, you've done me a great service this day. Please reconsider your task. There are mightier guardians within. And he disappears, floating off into the heavens. Megal gets up. And what's going to do, Gunter runs to her. He's going to do a little lay on hands action. He rolls a 10, which fails. So when a cleric fails a spell check, they get a little bit closer to... if he rolled a 1, he'd get disapproval from his god, and then something bad would happen. He'd have to like pray for 2 hours or right in the middle of adventure, or something bad would happen. But now, every time he failed, even if it wasn't 1, you increase that range. Now, if he rolls a 1 or a 2, he might get disapproval. But he's gonna try again. Nothing that says he can't try again. Okay, so this time he rolls a 19. He gets to do 2d6 dice for her to heal her. Yeah, so she's back up where she was. Puts his hands on her, says his prayers. The light binds her chest back together. Scars disappear. So she's back up. Okay. One thing about me is I never like relying too much on the mechanic. Like explain. I think if I wanted to play a video game where I'd say, okay, all right, so you roll 4 and you're healed 4, and that's it. Then that's kind of like a video game to me, I guess. I like explaining what happened. It feels more. I like the thematics of it. So anyway, that's just me. If it wasn't obvious. Okay. A stairway of shining silver appears, flowing down from the bottom tip of the diamond to basically the feet of our party. It's time to enter the cataphract. The shimmering stairs rise up to end in a pentagonal chamber. We're assuming they've gone up the stairs. Soft silvery light from an unseen source bathes the room in artificial moonlight. The room is fashioned from pink marble veined with white striations that glitter in the mystical glow. Above you, the chamber soars, terminating in a sea of celestial light 100 feet above. Each wall of the room holds a single door, wrought from gleaming gold, their faces inscribed with elegant runes. So, let's see. The first thing the parties want to do is there's not too much in the room, but there's 5 doors with ruins on them. All right. Um, Megel recognizes them immediately, and she points at each one. She goes, creation, construction, enlightenment, sacrifice, judgment. So the party has a choice. Chat. Hello, chat. Party has a choice. We have 5 doors. One says only creation on it. One says construction. The other says enlightenment. One says sacrifice. Another says judgment. Which door should our adventurers go into first? If you don't answer, I'm going to roll a 1d5. Does he now? So, Cassius moves towards the sacrifice door. Somewhere inside him, there's somewhere inside him that he's realizing that if he doesn't figure out how to get rid of the blade's going to take him. And sacrifice to him sounds like a good place to get rid of a sword, a demon. The others look at each other. There's 5 doors. They don't know which one's going to go where. So they decide to go, they follow him. So we open the first door is sacrifice. Interesting choice. The door opens not unto a chamber, but a scene of carnage. One you're immediately dropped into the midst of. They stand in the center of a small village, under an overcast sky. Panicked citizens flee in terror, and screams of pain fill the air. Before you is a churning horror. Before them is a churning horror, a formless monstrosity the size of a cathedral. This demonic thing lashes out with dripping tendrils, shoveling a screaming villager into one of its 100 mouths. Buildings collapse as the beast rolls over them, heading in the direction of our party. A voice, quiet and childlike, speaks softly, yet is somehow heard amidst the violence. From mighty hero to simple good wife, those who walk the path of righteousness must give of themselves at times for another's salvation, paying that price with body, talent, art, and sometimes even one's life. So, there we stand. The party they look behind them and the door is gone. This is where they are. This is their reality now. What should they do? Dear chat, the beast is moving straight towards them. I'm checking right now. I say exactly how fast this thing's going to get to them. It's going to get to them pretty soon. Oh, okay. They've got 4 rounds to figure out what they want to do. Chat, any ideas on what they should be doing right now? Yeah. So the especially the chaotic portion of our crew, Barrow and Talia, not so much Cassius though. Barrow and Talia are sweating bricks. Um, they're not stupid, but they didn't want to be in this to begin this part of this. They didn't expect this. They expected like a lot of foo lawful shit. They didn't expect like giant beasts devouring villages and coming at them. Snope, Mego, and Gunther look at each other. Gunther looks like he might know what's going on. Um, I got an idea how this could play out. Um, at least one thought. So let's see, who would be the first one to figure this out? Okay, this is right up Snope's alley for the first part. Snope didn't really know his place, and well, he knew that he was going to say no. He said no to the chaos lord or chaos god that came to him and tried to get him to betray his friends. He said no then. Then when the lawful lady came around, he wanted to trust her, but he wasn't so sure. Here he feels kind of at home, uh, in a sense of he knows in his heart what he needs to do. So Snope steps up and uh, and he says, "Okay, I will trade my strength." Where's Snope? He says, "I will trade my strength and my no my fleet. I'm gonna say he's gonna trade his agility. I was gonna say fleet of foot, but that isn't. I'm gonna trade because his strength isn't that great. But then again, he could lose his strength. Anyway, thematic for the story purposes. Snope stands up. This thing's coming, and he goes, "I give my strength to save those in this village. The to save us and those of the in the village and those who have been eating by this monster." And he feels strength leaving him. He feels himself getting weaker as it's going, as it's flowing, and it's flowing at one point, and then after he gives only so much, he can only give so much. He falls to his knees and he stops it, and mechanically he's traded 3 points of strength. 3 points of strength. So he's down from a 9 to a 6. And as he's done this, suddenly the beast stops for a moment and screams as a sore opens up. Not a huge one, but a sore. They do see it. A sore kind of, to them, it's as big as Cassius. Like it opens up its sore. It's like, it screams. Gunther, that was round, we'll say round 2. Well, and it stops it for a minute, but the beast screams, a sore opens up. It's been hurt. Snope's on his knees. The beast starts moving again. Picks up another person, and with one of its huge tendrils, it's like a big Cthulhu monster. It's gonna eat it. Gunther, understanding what just happened, he steps up and he steps up and he's gonna trade. Gunther stops and goes, "I give my vitality," and immediately gets hit as things are flowing out of his very essence of his being is being flying out of him. He's losing hit points. He gives up. Gunther goes nuts. He gives up 8 hit points. He's only got 1 left. He goes all the way till he's almost dead. He falls. Everyone sees him. He could just see the health coming out of him. The beast screams even louder this time as more for each hit point, a different festering sore opens up across its great mass. It's screaming. It drops the person. But then after Gunther falls, it rears up and it looks like, even though it's hurt, that it isn't hurt that bad, and it's coming at them now. It's coming up. It's looming over them. Mego goes to step forward, but then screaming past her, Cassius comes running, and he draws the Fiend Blade. Now, when the Fiend Blade's drawn, he's got to roll a personality check. When he draws it, first off, it bursts into these blue flames. Everyone in the party can hear it say, yes! I mean, this was what it's born to do. It's going to fight this big fucking monster. It's going to cause great chaos. When it's with yes, the flame, the blade of lights with blue flame. And Cassius has got to make a personality check. He's doing so at like -1 because Cassius doesn't have the best personality in the world. Yeah, he's doing it at -2. So let's roll this. He rolls a 4. He's rolling a 2, which means he has to instead pay personality points, actual points off his personality, 1d5, in order to not regain, but to maintain control of the demon. Where's my 1d5? My fancy 1d5. Where are you? Where have you gone? Am I holding you? No. And I've lost you. Here you are. Okay. Let's see. Everybody can see this shit stuff. All right. 1d5. He is losing 2 personality points. Which hold please. I think that's a good thing. No, it's not a good thing. If the player allows his personality to drop to 3 or less, the blade possesses the character, working to cause the most chaos and destruction possible. And the blade remains in control of its former master until the PC is slain or disarmed. Cassius races past Megel, draws his sword. Yes, the flame alights. His eyes alight with fire. He is possessed. He has said goodbye to his mind as he's going to attack this beast, this towering cathedral-sized beast. He jumps and goes to plunge the sword deep into it hits the beast and plunges its sword deep. The Fiend Blade drinks deeply into this great beast. The great beast howls and grabs him and rips him apart, just with 2 of its tendrils, just rips him completely apart while it's screaming, and apparently it's death throes. So part of Cassius is here, part of Cassius is here. The Fiend Blade's still glowing in his hands as he flops around in its tendrils, and it beats him against villages, against houses and the ground as it dies and falls, and the party runs. Megel grabs Snope, and Barrow grabs Gunther, and they run separate ways as the beast comes crashing down in a great, huge... and... when the dust settles, they come out coughing. Other villagers keep running by. There's still panic. They see a doorway in the middle of the village where that wasn't there before, where they were standing. Cassius is gone. Goodbye, Cassius. Everyone drags themselves, and they open the door, and they enter, and they find themselves in the waiting room of the cataphract. The first trial has been accomplished, or they have succeeded in their first trial. Well done. So now we choose again. They rest there. They rest. Gunther now at 1 hit point, and he knows that he can't. This is from his max hit points. His max hit points is 1 now. One moment. I have to consult the book. Yeah. When they come out into the room, we said goodbye to Cassius, and then we open the door, we go in, and there's Cassius. He's asleep on the floor of the waiting room. Meggle sets down Snope and runs up to him and shakes him awake, and he looks at her and he smiles, and he looks free. And she says, how do you feel? And he's like, he says, I feel free. And the sword's gone. The sword's not there anymore. Cassius has been freed of the sword. And I'm going to up the ante on this. I think we just saw a conversion. He did, Narf. He did. And I thought that maybe he would end up being that. That they would have to fight Cassius. That could be part of the story. But I'm thinking now that Cassius just converted to law. And which I think is kind of a cool kind of transition for his character. What do you think? I think this whole ordeal freed him from freedom of a lot of different things. A lot of his chaos kind of thought was based on him being very weak and grown up weak, and having the world around him desire more strength from him than he could give. But now that he's kind of achieved some kind of strength, and he made it through the trial with the Fiend Blade, and he sacrificed himself, even though he wasn't really doing it to sacrifice himself. He didn't do it with the intent of sacrificing himself. He did it because he was ready to sacrifice himself. So I think coming out the other end, I'm no longer Gandalf the Grey, I'm Gandalf the White. Yes, redemption. Yes, exactly. Cassius is now law. So what door should we go in now? Gunther, however, still has 1 hit point, and Snope is a rockin' a strength of 6. Let's see. We have the doors of creation, construction, enlightenment, and judgment. Judgment night. You got a thought, Narf, or should we roll? Or anybody else who wants to speak up? Creation. Let's do it. After the team rests for a little bit, they look around, and Meggle points to the creation door, and they all kind of nod and enter. In an eye blink, they find themselves in a room of darkness. A column of light illuminates a single object within, a chest-sized, cradle-shaped container of glass. In the bed of the cradle is a small portion of lumpy material. This substance is gray and lifeless, but tiny motes of light sparkle within it. A voice speaks in the darkness, old and severe. It speaks directly to each of them, speaking in the tongue of their birth. At the beginning of time, the gods brought life to the world. Behold the last piece of divine matter from which the Eternals wrought their creation. Embrace your inner divine spark and walk in the footsteps of the gods, or await the end of their creation within these walls. So, everybody looks at each other, waiting for each of them, somebody to say what they need to do. Obviously, they've got to make something out of this clay. Anybody want to suggest? Anybody in chat want to suggest what they should make out of this clay? Barrow, even though he is chaotic, is no stranger to creation. He is an artisan. He steps up. So I will make this. He reaches in, he grabs the clay. It's warm and it feels potent, even wholesome to the touch. And he begins to work. And it's obvious right off that he's gonna create a person. He would make himself. He's got to roll. Let's see how well he does. Okay. Where are you, Barrow? Here we go. Intelligence. Yep. Okay. Did I just roll? Is this a 1d20 or? Yeah. All right, so he rolled a 10. He gets a couple pluses because he's an artisan. He's rolled ultimately a 13. This is like Gunther's. This is his jam. Before you know it, at first everyone, people who are realizing that he's doing himself are like, oh, "Of course you do yourself." But by the time he's done, they're all a little bit in awe. Like he's obviously very good at what he does, and as soon as he's done and everybody else is in awe, the little golden light kind of shines down and it starts floating up just like Tarzrael did, floating up. And they all watch it go up, and as soon as it disappears in the light, the darkness goes away, and they are back in the room where they started, having completed the second trial. And puts us at 3 doors left: construction, enlightenment, and judgment. You got a thought, Narf? Narf. Or anybody else in chat who wants to speak up? How's my sound, Narf, by the way? I got this little baby a little closer this time. Enlightenment. Okay. The party kind of revved up, ready, feeling really good. This last test was nowhere near as hard as like charging a great village-sized monster. This time, Gunther leads the way to enlightenment. And they open the door and find themselves standing upon the highly polished marble floor of a grand hall. 10 glittering stone pillars support a vaulted ceiling adorned with painted images of pastoral life. The hall is lit brightly. Okay. Really? because I got the speaker way closer now than I've ever had before, or the mic way closer than I ever had before. Sorry, actually, back up. All right. They stand upon the highly polished marble floor of a grand hall. 10 glittering stone pillars support a vaulted ceiling adorned with painted images of pastoral life. The hall is lit brightly by flambeaux affixed to the pillars and bearing ivory tapers. The strains of music drift through the air, hauntingly beautiful in the unoccupied chamber. Interwoven between the notes, you detect a strong feminine voice speaking in their native tongue. There is an absence in the oasis of perfection, the voice says. If thou art a true champion of law, take steps, however dire, to address this absence. Through its presence you shall pass your trial. So everyone starts looking around. A flambeau is like a torch, basically, a torch in the wall. There's 10 of them, one on each of the pillars. Everybody starts looking around, looking at what this imperfection could be. There's some kind of something's missing. There's an imperfection. So they're looking around. A few months later, these dancers, ghost-like dancers, all around them, farther out, appear doing the kind of courtly dances to some kind of waltz or something that no one else can hear. And the party's watching them as they dance closer and closer. And hold, please. They look like ghosts. As they start getting closer and closer, dancing, the people start drawing their weapons because they're not quite sure what's going to happen. Meanwhile, we're still looking for what the imperfection in this room could be. I'm gonna roll a. We're gonna have people rolling intelligence checks. That's what we'll do. Cassius first. Cassius rolls a 19. He's got a +2 in his intelligence. Cassius, let's see, what's he got on him? What does Cassius have? Why is he always got to be the guy beneath me? Okay, we're going to draw you up here. He has... so Cassius has a water skin. Meanwhile, while everyone's watching these dancers come by, Cassius gets out his water skin. And he just kind of starts flinging it. He dumps it on the nearest torch. And it goes out. Everybody kind of looks around at what he did. And when they look back, they can't tell, but they could swear that one of the dancers disappeared. But then, just then, the dancers are getting closer. And one of them, just close enough to Snope, who holds back, he's not going to hit it, just kind of runs into him. And that's when they realize that these dancers aren't ghosts. It slams into him. 9, 11. Snope's armor class is 12. It's Snope. The dancer hits Snope, but kind of bounces off him because Snope's a hardy dwarf who's wearing some armor, isn't going to be budged. But that's when they realize that these guys aren't. They're not attacking them, but they're all dancing, and they're going to be hitting them soon. Cassius calls out, "Put out another fire." Who's got... Okay, Meggle has a water skin. She pulls it out, and she dumps it on one of the... she dumps some water on another one of the torches, and another pair disappear of dancers. "Put out all the lights," they say. But just then, Meggle and Gunther are hit by two pairs of dancers. This is the one hitting Meggle. Ooh. Definitely hits Meggle. And then this is the one possibly hitting Gunther. He rolled an 8. It rolled an 8. Plus 2 is 10. Oh gosh, Gunther. Oh, Gunther's wearing armor. So that's good. Gunther does not get hit. Just barely. Meggle does. For 1 to 3. And rolling dice here. 3 points of damage to Meggle. She gets hit hard. Snope. Snope throws up. He improvises. He throws up his lantern. Or yeah, he doesn't have it. No, I mean his shield. He throws up his shield to extinguish the. Oh, so these are candles. No, he's gonna have to. He's too short. He can't just throw up a shield. He's gonna have to figure out a way to get this thing out. Any idea how this little dwarf can, how these guys can put out candles? Let's see, who's got spells? Nobody's got a spell that could put out flames. Yeah. They're too big to blow out. Well, what's Pix? Pix hasn't done anything in a while. What's our little Pix gonna do? Huh. She can climb sheer surfaces. Okay. She's gonna climb up a pillar and put out one of these. She gets a bonus of +3 to climb it. We'll give her a DC of 10. Oh. So she had an 8. She's not able to scramble up in time. And then the dancers are hitting Barrow, Talia, and Cassius. Barrow, Talia, and Cassius. They miss Barrow, they miss Talia, and they miss Cassius. Okay, so everybody's on the move now. The dancers are coming. Pick slides back down the pillar. She's going to try again. Oh, shit. Okay. Finally. Gotta remember, Meggle's got a hawk. Armand, the hawk, who she connects with telepathically, who is now flying around putting out these he can't do them all at once, but he definitely gets one right there. Boom. A pair of it's gonna be the third. That's the third. That leaves 6. Pix attempts to climb up another pillar. This time she rolls 17 plus 3 is 20. She crawls up a pillar and puts one out. That's leaves us with 5. I guess now it should be everybody gets their order. So give everybody a shot before. Okay, so that's Megal and Pix. Gunther, what's he got on him? He's got a rope. I'm gonna give him a shot at trying to swing a rope. Well, he's got holy water. Okay, he's gonna throw holy water at one of these. And rolls a 14. I'll give it to him. Boom, another one's out. Darkness, it's starting to get kind of dark in here. The let's see, Talia has a water skin. She's gonna put one out. It's 3. Barrow has a 10-foot chain. Oh no. He's gonna swing it. He's gonna swing it at one of the candles, and it doesn't hit. It almost hits him. And then finally, Cassius is going to use his. I'm gonna say it only took half the water skin to get one. He's squirting it at it. He's gonna squirt another one and put it out. There are only two candles left, so 2 characters are getting it. Snope almost gets hit. It's a 3. They miss him. And Pix. 18. Pix gets hit for 1d3. 2 points of damage to Pix. But she's a hardy little thing now. She's not that little waif. Well, she never was, actually. She's the strongest and most agile of the whole group. Okay, so we have two left. The Hawk is going to get one. Ormond gets one. And, yeah, we'll say the other one, another one of the person, Talia with her water skin gets the other one. The room goes pitch black. And right before the room goes pitch black, Cassius notices something. He noticed that there was no shadows cast in the room at all. But he doesn't notice that until the last one goes out. And everyone braces themselves to get hit. But there's no more dancers. A few minutes pass. It's just quiet. But they haven't passed they're still there. They haven't passed the test yet. Relight them. Snope says, who's got a flint? Who's got a flint? And tinder. Who does? Someone does. Right? I hope. I know someone. Oh yeah, Snope does. So, with a little bit of help, maybe standing on someone's shoulders, he lights the first one. It lights up, and Cassius thinks, well, maybe it was just a trick of my mind. Maybe because there's because when he lights it, the candle casts a shadow. So Cassius thinks, maybe chalks it up to having lost. Like maybe he didn't see it right. So they light them all. As soon as they light the last one, a door opens up in the middle of the hall. No, I'm sorry. No, this is better than that. All the shadows that are cast start crawling across the floor. Everyone's waiting. They've lit everything. Nothing's happened. They're like, what do we have to do? But then they notice the shadows are creeping across the floor, and they all pool in the middle of the room, and it kind of moves up into 3D space and creating a door. And then Cassius realizes, so he wasn't insane. The imperfection was that there were no shadows cast. And now that they put out the flames and relit them, there's shadows. So they walk through the door and find them in the beginning room, having succeeded in the third trial. Yeah. They have 2 doors left. Gunther is going to attempt a lay on hands with Megal. 16, so he's going to heal her for 4. So she's back up. He goes to Pix, but Pix looks at him and she says, I'm okay. I'm okay. Are you sure? And he says, it'll only take a minute. She's only neutral. So in Dungeon Crawl Classics, if you try to heal, if a cleric tries to heal somebody of an opposing alignment or just a different alignment, they have a better chance of getting disfavor from their god. Pix is neutral, so it's not as bad. Except you roll a 4. So now he is getting closer. Now his range for disapproval is a 1 through 3. If he rolls one of those, bad things happens. Okay. Well, annoying things can happen. It isn't necessarily bad. So we are at 2 doors left in the cataphract on the plane of law. 3 challenges succeeded. Cassius is lawful. This is awesome. So, construction or judgment. Those are the 2 doors that are left for our party to enter. What do you think, chat? Construction or judgment? Construction it is, Narf. Thank you, sir. After regaining some of their breath, each of these doors has disappeared, by the way. There's only 2 doors left. They decide to... Barrow this time decides it's time. And he gets up and walks towards the construction. He says, is this the one that said to construction? Megal nods. He said, let's go. And they all enter... and a moment of disorientation afflicts them, and then they find themselves in a massive space defined by walls of solid iron and burnished rivets. The iron floor beneath them bears no rust or wear. The chamber, lit by a glow from sources unseen, measures nearly 300 feet long and 150 feet wide. Midway across the room, a 100-long gap bisects the chamber. Wisps of clouds rise from the hole in the floor. On the far side of the chamber is another doorway, identical to the one that brought them here. Standing between them and the break in the floor are 6 delicate stands fashioned from crystal. Atop each is a fluted glass of liquid. So there are 6 flutes of liquid. Actually, that's a pretty good guess, Narf, because you're actually right. Judgment or sacrifice would be pretty big epic, but it's a pretty good bookend, actually. Starting with sacrificing and with judgment, you'll see. You're absolutely right. But this is pretty cool, too. Each of the vials of liquid have a different color liquid in them. In order from left to right, there's tangerine, azure, gold, plum, crimson, and emerald. After a minute, everyone's kind of standing around looking. They go up and they look at this pit. And this pit is obviously way too big to jump across. And it's like 100 feet. There's no way to use a rope. They do have rope, but one person has rope, 50 feet of it. Not enough to get it really across. Then you look at the liquids. Snope grabs one and goes to try to pour it on the floor, and it refuses to leave the glass. I think we're going to have to drink them. So there are 6 colors: tangerine, crimson, azure, gold, emerald, and plum. Who is going to decide to try to drink one? Who's our guinea pig, first off? Who's brave enough to drink one of these liquids? Any thoughts on that one? Something tells me Pix is drawn. No, Gunther has 1 hit point. Gunther, our cleric, has the 1 hit point. Snope lost strength. What about Pix? Pix, the little beggar thief. Something tells me she might be enamored with the colored liquid. She'd never seen anything like it before. Maybe she's smelling them. But here's the real question. Is whoever it is, what color do they drink first? And why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6. We could make this a 1d6. Tangerine, orange juice, crimson, or is cranberry juice. Azure is blueberry juice. Gold, pineapple. Emerald is green. Spinach. Ooh, gold, shiny thief. So, not really knowing why she's picking gold, other than it's shiny. Picks it. Everybody looks at her expectantly. She drinks a drop. Remember, when he tried to pour it out, it wouldn't leave the glass. But when she tips it up to her mouth, it readily comes out, and she drinks a sip. And at first, nothing happens, but then suddenly, actually, no, nothing suddenly happens. Nothing happens at all just yet. She says, she goes, I've never tasted anything like this before. Doesn't taste bad. It tastes really good, but she couldn't describe it. She wants to drink more, but she's worried she's going to drink it all. But nothing happens. Yeah, so nothing happens. There must be some order to drink these in. Obviously, this is a puzzle of some sort. The colors must relate to something. What could they relate to? Any thoughts? One second, I'm just writing down the so one more time. The colors are tangerine, crimson, azure, gold, emerald, and plum. I'm gonna say that. Oh yeah, so good point. So, Cassius takes one and tries to pour it in the other, and it won't. It refuses. Anytime they try to pour them out, they refuse to leave the bottle. The only time they saw it that it would actually leave the bottle was when Pix picked it up and tried to drink one. I'm gonna go back though and say it did not taste good. In fact, something very wrong. It was very wrong tasting to Pix. She got the impression that that it was either tasted wrong or felt wrong or something was wrong about it. Obviously, she drank it out of order. I'm rolling an intelligence check. We're going to do our good friend Cassius, who rolled a 12. Plus 2 is 14. There's something familiar about these colors. Something very familiar. What if we're to drink them in order? And what order would that be? What if it's the rainbow? Then that means we must, the first, depends on which side of the, we'd start from the bottom up. So it would be crimson first. Who wants to try it? Pix goes, I'll try it. So she goes and she drinks the crimson. I don't have to roll. She drinks the crimson and she says, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is the best I've ever tasted. And everybody's like, nothing's happened. She goes, which one's next? Which one should I taste next? This one. He points at the tangerine one. So she drinks that one. She says, this is amazing. This is the best thing I've ever tasted. Which one's next? Yellow. Is that what you said? Yellow? The gold. Do the gold. She drinks that same thing. Let's see. Green is the same. Feeling good. And then let's see. Blue. She drinks the azure. It's good. And then Biv. Oh, violet. Indigo or violet. There is no indigo. It must be the plum. I'm not sure why there's no indigo, but it would be the plum. She drinks it. And, by the way, so she re-drinks the gold one that she had drunk before, and this time it tastes different. It actually tastes wonderful. Which somewhere in the back of her mind goes, what was that? Why was it taste? But she puts it aside. We'll revisit that later. And she when she finishes the last one, the plum, a bridge builds across the chasm. A rainbow bridge. Everyone looks at each other and nods. Good job, chat. And walk over the bridge. It seems very sturdy. Well, actually, Pix tries it first. She's all hopped up on magic juice. And she sees that and she also can climb really well. She's agile. So she tries it out and notices that it's all very solid. And they all go over the gap and go through the door and have finished their 4th challenge. We are 1 challenge in. So everyone takes a moment to make sure everything's good, and before they're going to go into the last door, which says judgment. They're not quite sure if they want to go in this one, but they do. Before them stands a balance scale of immense construction. Its center pillar, its beam, and the chains leading to its 2 pans are translucent, formed from glowing golden light. Only its 2 weighing pans appear of solid construction, fashioned from burnished gold and lying flat upon the floor. The great scales soar 5 times the height of a man, nearly brushing the ceiling of this room. 35 feet above the rightmost weighing pan is an azure key, the size of a wand. Between you and the scales is a quartet of silver-furred lions with golden manes. They growl softly but threateningly at your arrival. These lions are 8 feet long, silver fur, great golden manes. They're padding around. The party's kind of looking at them. Obviously, they're gonna have, if they want to approach the scale, they're gonna have to go up to them, go get close to them. They start walking, and these lions are like sniffing the air. When the lions sniff the air, and it's almost as if they look right at Talia and Barrow, and they charge. There is no waiting around. They're charging at our two remaining chaotic party members. Um, 8-foot lions, man, that sucks. So we got 8-foot lions coming at them, 4 of them. They're coming at Talia and Barrow, and there is a chance that they're gonna go for picks as well. Let's see. Oops. That was 80. Yeah. So it looks like they're coming at Talia and Barrow and possibly even picks. So it's time to roll for initiative. All right. We'll do the Lions first. The Lions roll 17 plus 1. They are 18. 18. From the top, Snopes. Snopes rolls a 2. Okay. Megal rolls a 14. Oh, yeah, plus 2 is 16. 16. Then Gunther rolls an 11. Talia rolls a 5. 5. Barrow rolls a 4. Jeez. They are flipping freaked out. They are not comfortable with the idea of that 4 huge lions or 8-foot lions. Those are gigantic. All right, Cassius. He's he doesn't get any bonuses to initiative. He rolled a 5. Pix is 17. Rocking a 17 plus 1. She's at 18. Okay, so that's everybody. All right, so from the top, it looks like the lion. No, Pix first, then the lions. Pix first, and the lions. Then Megal. Then there's a big drop off to Cassius and Talia. Then we're talking oh wait, no, my bad. I keep forgetting Gunther. It's Pix then Gunther. No, Pix, Lions, then Gunther. Alright, and then Snope is last. Barrow, and then Snope. Okay. Alright, we are input. Alright, so we have 4 of these suckers. They're racing towards these 2 guys. Move 30 feet. This thing is, this room is pretty big. Let's see. How big is this room? It is not big enough. They're going to be reaching them presently. Okay, who's up? Pix. Pix has something to do before these lions get anywhere near them. It has a chance to do something. She's not a huge fighter. She's gonna forge document. Is there shadows? I don't think there would be any shadows in this place at all. And I can't. In the absence of thinking of anything clever, she's gonna pull out her sling and try to throw it. She's got a sling. Well, no, she doesn't. Can't use that because it won't work on lawful creatures. She has to use the ebony daggers that she has from them, that she was given to by the court from the court of chaos. So run. She's gonna run. So they're okay. She's gonna run. She's gonna run the opposite direction. She's thinking if she can get behind the scales, she might be able to hide from these things, or maybe climb the scales, and maybe get to that key that is up there. Her idea is to get on the scale and get to the key. Let the party deal with the lion. But as we saw in the roll, the lions, there's going to be at least one that's coming that's going to see her and come for her. And it's the lion's turn. Okay. So we got 4 lions. One's going to break off and head towards Pix. 2 are, 3 of the other 3 are heading towards Talia and Barrow. 3 of the lions, the one that's heading towards Pix, and the one that's for Barrow and one for Talia, are going to stop and roar at them. This roar, let's see, they gotta make fort saves. All of them do. So Pix makes a fort save at +1. She makes it. The roar rips through her body and sends chills up her spine, and all the hairs in her body stand down in, but she's still booking. She does not stop. Barrow rolls a 3. He freezes in terror. He freezes for 1d4 rounds. 3 rounds as Barrow's out of the fight. And then Talia rolls for her fort save. Ooh. She rolls an 8. +2 is 10. She is not. The other one, the other one, seeing that Barrow has stopped, attacks him. But it rolls a 4. +2 even was 6. And Barrow is wearing padded armor. The lion shreds part of the padded armor, but does not hit Barrow. Barrow's a big dude. He's a he's a big dude. Yeah. Okay. So that was the lions. So one attacked them, 2 tried to freeze them, froze Barrow. Another one tried to freeze Pix and missed, or it didn't work. Pix overcame it. Now it's Gunther's turn. So Gunther doesn't necessarily want to hurt these things, these beautiful creatures, but he has picked up a spell that he thinks would be perfect for this situation, and he's going to cast it. He speaks some power, some words. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Okay, well, he didn't get disapproval, but he definitely failed. He would have if he hadn't had the spell check. Gunther raises his hands to speak to the gods, his god, and his god does not hear him or does not pay him any attention. Pork up. Megal. She doesn't want to attack these things either, but she doesn't want to watch. She understands exactly why Barrow and Talia are being attacked. She doesn't want to watch them being ripped to shreds in front of her. Ormond, the hawk, isn't going to be much help in this instance. Her spells are Charm Person and Featherfall. Neither one of them going to help. So Megal is going to pull back. Oh, I know what she's going to do. She's saw the one run for Pix and try to stop Pix, and she knows what Pix is going to do. So she pulls out her longbow and takes. Oh, she's gonna. This action right now, she's gonna pull out her longbow. That's how it should go. She's gonna move away a little bit and pull out her longbow. That's her action. Cassius. Cassius also understands why these lions are going for them, but he also cannot. He's not gonna watch his friends die. Well, he considers them friends. So he pulls out his longsword, his ebony longsword, charges into battle. He's going to stand and protect Barrow. The one that attacked Barrow, he's going to attack. He rolls 1d20 plus his deed die, which is 1d3. Oh, cool. What would be a mighty deed that he could do? So warriors can call out mighty deeds they attempt to do something above and beyond just do damage. Can he try to knock something out? I mean, is that within the realm of possibility? Because if that's it, that would be a perfect thing for him to do, is subdue the lion. Actually, let's do this. When in doubt, check the index. Mighty deeds of arms. 88. Yeah, this is the right kind of area. 88. Types of deeds: blinding attacks, disarming attacks. No, not disarming. Pushbacks, trips and throws, precision shots, rallying. Oh. Huh. Defensive maneuvers. Okay, yeah, that's what he's going to do. He's going to try a defensive maneuver. He's going to try to... He's noticed... perfect. He's noticed Barrow is in shock from this roar. This one lion tried to get him. He's going to go into defense mode and try to be a shield wall in front of Barrow. That's his deed. He needs the roll of 3 in order for this deed, and he doesn't. I don't think he's going to hit with this 7 shit. Yeah, so the lions... I need to work something out here real quick. Who's who? We got 4 lions, each with different hit points. All right, so 10, 9, and then 8. Oops. Okay. Yeah, is okay. AC on these suckers is 12. He rolled a 7. Plus 1 is 8. Minus 1 is 7. Welcome to law, Cassius. You're still not that great of a warrior, but he does have quite a bit of hit points now. He's beefed up. All right, so he fails in his attempt to hit and establish some sort of shield wall in front of Barrow. Talia. Now Talia, she definitely has a spell that'll work here. So Talia, oh, that's even better too. But nothing happened. All right, So if you've been watching, you know that Dungeon Crawl Classics has a thing where spells manifest differently depending on who's casting them. Different things can happen. So she's gonna speak a word of power, and cast her spell, and we're gonna roll to see if she make. Jeez, man, which one of these? Okay, I can't roll either one of these anymore. These dice suck. Okay, so she rolled a 7, which means she fails this spell check. Oh wait, hold up. Do I want to burn luck? No, because she'd have to burn. She would have to burn 4 points of luck in order to make this. So she forgets that spell. So she speaks some word. We don't know what. And oh, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, Narf. But I'll tell you, she didn't make it. It fumbles out of her mouth. Maybe in fear, maybe under stress. It just doesn't work. Barrow's up next, and he's not. He's out. That's 1 round down. Snope. What up, Snope? Snope steps up. He's got a ebony long sword and a shield. He's not afraid to use them. He, seeing what Cassius is trying to do, is going to do the same thing. He's going to try to step up and do a shield wall in front of Barrow. It does not succeed. Does he even hit, though? He hits 11. Wow, this is the worst rolling round ever. He misses with the longsword. So he stands in front of Barrow, swings at the lion. The lion dodges him too. And we're back at the top of the turn, and it's Pix. And Pix is racing. Pix can move 30 feet at a time. She is moving. Okay. So she can make it to one of these, to the scale. She makes it to the scale pan and jumps on it. And suddenly she hears a voice. Just her. Only he who hath led a goodly and lawful life shall ascend in the end. So these scales are on the floor, or kind of hanging a little bit above the floor, and then the key that she needs to get to is quite a bit up. So obviously something's got to happen to raise the scales up. So the voice is telling her, if thou wishes to rise above all others, speak truthfully of your deeds in life. Recount your virtuous acts and be judged. You have 30 heartbeats to prove your merit. Okay, let's learn a little bit about Pix. Pix needs to say, she needs to say X amount. I think it's 6, actually. I think she ends up having to say 6. She needs to say 6 things that she's done that is goodly, of some sort. So she thinks. She says, I saved a beggar dog. I gave my last piece of bread to a dog friend. And the scale raises up a little bit. I helped an old woman to the church, to the healer. It raises up a little bit. And we're moving to the next person because I don't think she's going to figure out anything else that she has done, unless chat wants to say something else that she has done. But it's only moved up about 5 feet each time, and she's got about 30 feet to go, about 20 more feet to go, at least 20. Um, and it's the lion's turn. So, right, but Cassius hasn't done anything good. He's not led any kind of good life. So you got to get on the scale and you got to name off stuff you've done in your life that's good. He hasn't done it. He's lived a chaos life, caring only for himself for quite a bit of time. He could talk about what he wants to do. But right now we got a lion who's hot on Pix's trail. I don't think that this lion is going to jump on the. He's gonna okay. Lion gets up. She's jumped up there. He's circling it. He's not about to jump on the scale, and he roars at her again, try to get her to stop and fall off the thing. She's got to roll a. She totally ignores him. The other lion who roared at Talia and failed takes a swipe at her. Comes up and rolls a 1, and he fumbles. I keep forgetting. Do monsters fumble? I think I decided that they do before, but I don't know if they really do. I really don't know if they do. For now, we're going to say they don't. He misses horribly. The one who is, there are two. One roared at Barrow. The other one swiped at him. Cassius and Snope got in the way between them, so each one of them is going to take a hit. So one goes for Cassius and rolls a 10 plus 2 is 12. Misses Cassius. Cassius is wearing scale armor. Totally, the claws totally rake against Cassius's armor. Then one goes for Snope. Rolls a 17 though. This one does hit Snope, doing 1 to 6. 5 points of damage. Huge rake across his. But Snope's pretty tough. Rakes across his armor and his chest. That's all the lions. Gunther. Gunther's lost. He looks. He sees what Pix is doing, and he rushes to help Pix. He let's see, it's 10 feet off the ground. So he calls up, "Can I help?" The lion, the one that's circling, pays him no mind. And he's like, "Can I help? Can help me up?" So Pix puts her hand down and holds it, and let's see, 10, 8, he's gonna have to wait, what is Gunther? Gunther has 50 foot of rope. So he starts getting out his rope with the intent of throwing it up and having her help him get up there. It's only 10 feet. So that's his round. Megal takes aim. She's been tracking the one that's like circling the thing, but she's seen that it doesn't get up. It's not jumping up on a thing. Pix seems to be safe at the moment. So she's aiming now. She aims for the one that's attacking Talia. She lets an ebony arrow fly, and it completely misses it. Cassius. Cassius is trying this defensive mood again. He's going to strike at it. Try to set himself up. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Wow. 2. He doesn't fumble, but that wasn't that great. Completely misses. And Talia, who forgot the sleep spell. Yeah. So she's going to draw her ebony short sword she's got to draw it, so it's going to take an action. Barrow is out. His second. He's got 1 round left. And Snope. Snope is going to also attempt a mighty deed of defense. Snope this time not only makes it, but also hits. So he attacks his lion. He's going to do how much damage? All right, so he rolled a 3. He is fighting defensively, and he improves his armor class by 1. So his armor class is now 3 for the remainder of the fight. Oh, for the next round. So his mighty deed was he succeeded in making himself more of a defensive kind of position, and rolled a 19, 20, no 19, and then he's going to be doing 1d8 plus the 3. Where's 1d8? 1. So he's doing 4 points of damage, which is no slouch. Totally bites into this lion. It roars in pain as he splits down its side with his longsword, his ebony longsword. Pix grabs Gunther's rope and helps him up onto the scale. Oh, that was back at the beginning of the turn. So now it's the lions again. So the one that's circling the scale takes a. Well, he's not gonna get in the way of Gunther. He's gonna try roaring at her again, which she handily. It's like not working on her at all. The one that's going for Talia takes another swipe at Talia, and this time misses. Well, he missed the first time too, so he misses. We got one that's dueling Cassius. He misses. I can see the rolls go both ways. And then the one that's going for Snope hits. Huh. Interesting. Snope's taking another hit. 1d6. 6. Wow. Snope. Not looking good. Snope gets hit. The claw. This time, the lion grabs him and sinks its sinks its teeth, his fangs, into his chest. He's a dwarf. He's like, Snope screams. Gunther hears his friend scream, but as he scrambles up onto the platform, he hears the voice, and he says, "All right, I need things that Gunther did, because Gunther has been living a very lawful life." He says, "I gave up my life to work for the church." The thing rises up. I've dedicated my life to feeding the poor of my village. It goes up. What else could he have done? I don't think of good deeds. I gave my friend solace as he died, and this time he starts crying because we're talking about his friend who I completely Poros, who died in the last adventure, was his friend. He gave him solace as he passed, and then finally he gave the last of his money to his sister so that she may leave the village, and while he remained. behind. And at that point, the scale has gone 30 feet, and the Pix runs over and grabs the blue key, and a kind of unheard sound reverberates across the whole area, the whole room, and the lions stand down and then pat away. And a door opens behind them. And the party, keeping a wary eye on the lions who've now disappeared, they all head together and head down through the door. Where were we? Oh, Barrow is back. He's good. And when they enter the room this time, all the doors are gone, but there's a stairway that leads up to one single door that has looks like a blue lock at the top. So they have the key, and they're walking up the stairs, and that's where we're going to end tonight. Supposedly, in their minds, they have passed 5 trials. They're about to enter the door that holds the yolkless egg, which they're going to get. And the reality of the situation is that many of them had made deals on being the first to take that egg to someone else. So next week, we're going to find out just where all that lands. The little plans of mice and men. Thanks for joining up. Please hit follow to check out more. I do this every Friday and Saturday nights, and tomorrow night is X crawls, which are more big game dungeon crawls. Different party, different set of different circumstances. Until then, I will see you. Viva la dungeon! And we out.